Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving into Harry Potter, but not like the magical creatures or like the battles you might think of. We're going to tackle a character who's both fascinating and super unsettling, Dolores Umbridge. You might be thinking, another Harry Potter deep dive. Like, what else is there? But trust me, there's so much more to Umbridge. She might seem like, a typical villain, all pink and kittens and whatever, but if you look closer, there's something way more complex and disturbing, even.
Yeah, she's not like a dark wizard in the, traditional way, not like Voldemort Bellatrix. Her power's different, more insidious. It's a bureaucratic authority.
Okay, let's back up a bit. For anyone who, might not have their Marauders map right here, who add us to Dolores Umbridge, when do we first meet her?
We first meet her in Order of the Phoenix. She comes to Hogwarts as senior undersecretary to the minister, Cornelius Fudge. Her job at first is to, well, quote, restore order. Hogwarts is getting a lot of scrutiny from the ministry. There are all these rumors that Voldemort's back.
Right, Fudge won't believe it. He thinks Dumbledore and Harry are just stirring up trouble.
Exactly. And Umbridge is like his weapon, sent to control what's happening at Hogwarts, undermine Dumbledore.
Yeah.
But her methods, they reveal something really messed up about her. Instead of teaching defense spells like practical stuff, she makes them memorize theory from ministry textbooks, and any mention of actual magic, forbidden.
So it's like she's trying to make them helpless, totally unprepared for Voldemort.
Exactly. She wants obedient students,
Yeah.
not capable ones. She even introduces that decree for the reasonable restriction of underage sorcery. Basically, they can't even use magic outside class.
And that's just the beginning. We got to talk about the punishment quill. I mean, making students carve lines into their skin with their own blood. That's messed up, even for wizards.
It's chilling, yeah. Like sadism disguised as discipline. And what's worse is she acts like she's all about order and being civil. Always ministry slogans and
Oh,
rules.
absolutely. Like, I will have order.
Whoa.
That line gives me chills every time. It's like she's using this polite act, all this jargon, to hide what she really is.
It's that contrast that makes Umbridge who she is. Not like Voldemort, more like the banality of evil.
Whoa, okay. Banality of evil. That's heavy. What does that even mean?
So it's from this philosopher, Hannah Arendt. She saw that the worst things in history were often done by, like, regular people, just following orders, not really evil themselves, just blindly obedient.
So are you saying Umbridge isn't really evil? That she's just following Fudge's orders?
It's not that simple. Yeah, she's a product of the ministry, all that fear and control. But Umbridge also, she likes power, and she'll use it for herself. You know, when Voldemort takes over the ministry, Umbridge, she like thrives. Yeah, it's not just going with the flow. She's really into persecuting Muggleborns then. Like, even some Death Eaters thought she went too far.
So it's almost like Voldemort taking over. That was perfect for her kind of awful behavior.
Yeah, exactly. So then the question is, what are her motivations even? Why is she so obsessed with controlling everything? Why does she like hurting others?
Well, Rowling said Umbridge was based on a teacher she hated. Maybe that's why Umbridge feels so real, you know? Like those authority figures we all know. The ones who hide behind rules. Bullies who pretend they're just being helpful.
Right. Super believable, which is creepy. To get her, though, we got to look at the symbols, like all that pink, for starters.
Well, the pink, it's like her clothes, her office, even those kitten plates. It's too much, even if you love pink.
That's the point. The pink, it clashes, makes her actions even worse. Pink is innocence, right? Sweetness, girly stuff. It's supposed to make you think she's harmless.
So she's using it to trick people. Like you let your guard down, then bam.
Exactly. It's manipulation. And she does it with words, too. That sickly sweet voice, all the jargon, to hide the cruelty. Remember when she calls the quill a learning tool?
Yeah. It's like she's trying to convince everyone, even herself, that she's doing good. But that quill, it's not just torture. It's her wanting total control.
Definitely. Carving words into their skin is breaking them down, making them think like her.
Rewriting their minds, erasing who they are. But then there's the Patronus thing. What was hers again?
A Persian cat, fluffy, spoiled. Gets mad if it doesn't get its way. It sounds like Umbridge, right?
Totally does. But she has a Patronus at all. Isn't that weird? You said they need like a happy emotion, hope, stuff like that. Dark wizards can't do that, right?
That's right. That's what makes it so interesting and creepy, too. Does she think she's good? Is she that messed up in the head that she can be happy and hurt people at the same time?
Whoa, that would explain a lot. How she seems so nice while being so awful, like a wall in her mind, so she doesn't see what she's really doing.
And that's the worst part. If she thinks she's doing good, then any bad thing she does is okay to her.
So someone with power, obsessed with control, thinks they're right. Sounds familiar. And this is where it gets cool. Umbridge isn't just made up. She's like a real kind of evil.
Exactly. Think about it. Ever met someone like Umbridge? All polite, but hiding their prejudice. Using rules to be a bully.
Oh, all the time. She's like every bad boss. Bureaucrats, that neighbor who's always complaining, that frustration when someone misuses power, even a little.
And that's why people react to her so strongly.
She's our fears about authority, regular people becoming, the oppressors.
The warning, right?
Evil doesn't always look evil. Sometimes it's a pink cardigan and a sweet voice. And it's worse because it uses the system to get what it wants.
Exactly. It's easy to say she's just a silly villain.
Yeah.
But she has a point, She makes us look at the bad stuff in ourselves and society.
So even though she's awful, and I would never want to meet her, she's important to the story. And not just Harry Potter.
Yeah, she shows that evil has lots of faces.
Yeah.
And it can be hidden, so we have to be careful and fight for what's right.
Okay, so we've covered a lot. Umbridge's personality, why she does what she does, all the symbolism, and how she's like real-life evil. But how does her story end? Does she get what she deserves? We need to know. So we left off wondering if Umbridge actually gets what's coming to her. Does she just like disappear with all her kitten plates?
Luckily, no. After Voldemort's gone, she gets arrested, put on trial for what she did to Muggleborns.
Okay, good. Would have been messed up if she just got away with it. But what happens to her? Azkaban.
The books don't say exactly, but the point is she's held responsible. It shows that even if you're powerful, you can't just, escape what you did.
No one's above the law, right. Doesn't matter how much power you have.
Right. And it shows that even when things are bad, when it seems like, the bad guys won, there's still hope for justice.
Yeah, that's a good message, especially for kids reading this.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out good and bad and all that.
Absolutely. But even though Umbridge's story ends there, her character, it makes us think about stuff. Bigger stuff than just Harry Potter.
Like what?
Well, she's a symbol of what happens when power goes unchecked and how systems get corrupt. She shows that even normal things, like a school or a government, they can be twisted to help those in charge.
So we can't just assume things will be okay. We have to watch those in power and speak up when things are wrong.
Exactly. And that brings us to something else about Umbridge, the importance of fighting back as individuals. Remember, even with Umbridge being so awful, the students at Hogwarts, they resist her.
Yeah, Dumbledore's army, they practice magic in secret. Even prank her with magic.
They wouldn't be silenced.
Yeah.
And that courage, fighting back even when it's hard, that's partly why Umbridge falls.
It shows how powerful it is to work together and to stand up for what you think is right.
And that's what makes Umbridge so, interesting. She makes us think about the bad stuff. That it can be in anyone, any system. It makes us be more aware, think more critically.
So as much as we hate her, and believe me, I do, she has a point.
She reminds us that evil can look like anything. It can hide, even be nice. We always got to be looking for what's just and fair.
Well said. I think that about wraps up our deep dive into Dolores Umbridge. I kind of want chocolate now, like a big cauldron of chocolate frogs.
To get rid of the Umbridge feeling, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back soon with something else to explore. Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and maybe, watch out for anyone who really loves pink.